Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and listening. This is going to be the mid-November 2022 reading for the zodiac sign of Gemini. Hello, fellow Geminis. As always, my readings are very intuitive, so I'll provide you with any intuitive messages that I receive, as well as the meaning of the tarot cards. I do recommend you check out your sun, moon, and rising just to get a full picture of everything that's going on for you this month. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you subscribe, that helps me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post new content. But let's go and jump and get started, Gemini. In column number 1, we're going to take a look at what's wrapping up and coming to a close, so last few weeks or month. Column number 2, we're going to take a look at just what's happening for the remainder of November. We're also going to do a money column, a love column, and the 5th and final column, we're going to do a message from our future self or spirit guides. So something to take into the end of the month with you. We're also going to do 3 yes or no questions, a crystal of the month, and a healing note for you. But Gemini, jumping back to this column number 1, what's wrapping up and coming to a close, pulling a summary card here, we have revision. And this card's pretty literal. It just means that there has been some sort of change in plans for you these last few weeks or month. It could be a change in opinion, a change in a belief, a change in a plan. There's just been some sort of revision for you. Whenever I see this card, I feel like it's important to make sure that we throw out the message that it's okay to change your mind. So just keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and see, though, what other messages we have here for you. The first card we have is the Ten of Cups. For those of you that have watched my readings before, you know the Ten of Cups is my favorite card in the entire deck. This is a card of really everything wonderful. We have a nice full rainbow, we have a happy couple, kids playing, there's a house in the background, grass is green, the water's running. Again, everything good, Gemini, and that's why I love this card so much. It's a card of family, it's a card of contentment, it's a card of total love and support. And I used to think contentment really wasn't that good, and now I realize how hard it is to actually be content, so that's why I'm such a big fan of the Ten of Cups. So really entering into a happy period of time. This is a great time if you're hoping to invest, grow your family, strengthen relationship, or enter into a relationship, all around just well-rounded, loved, supported, and happy, and of course content with that Ten of Cups. The next card that we have is the Two of Swords. Anytime we have 2 of something on a card, it does indicate that there's a decision that had to be made. And I'm going to say that this probably directly ties to that revision summary card that we were just talking about, Gemini. This is the change you had to make. This is the revision you had to make. You had to make this decision to change whatever was going on, revise the plan. And at the bottom here, we have the Death card. I think it's important to call out that the Death card does not actually mean death, but it does indicate big changes. It indicates an ending. It's time to move on. It's time to transform. So that, I think, again, is also connected with that revision. That's that decision to make the change, that decision to make a revision. We're in a period of happiness right now, but that's going to continue with this too. So expect more of that Ten of Cups energy as we move through this transformation. Looking at our clarifiers for this column, the first card we have is the Ace of Cups. Anytime we have an Ace card, it's a card of newness, Gemini. In the case of Ace of Cups, this is typically new baby, relationship, marriage, proposal. So definitely some really wonderful love and family cards here for you. So some of you could have found out you were having a baby, a grandbaby, again, entering into that new relationship, that advancement of relationship, getting engaged or married. So lots of love energy surrounding these 2 cards, but it's almost like whatever you're desiring is coming true through both of those cards as well. The next card that we have is the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is very solid, very practical, very wise. So some family stuff coming up and some money stuff coming up. Perhaps some of you made an investment or are getting ready to make an investment. It seems really promising. I always like investments through the Ten of Cups. And then the King of Pentacles is a very great investment card as well. Some of you could have had to make a decision not to make an investment or wait until the right investment came up for you. Maybe there's something you really wanted and it just wasn't coming together correctly. I think the investment opportunity is still there. So if you passed up on a house or passed up on a car or passed up on a stock or something of that nature, the right one's out there for you, Gemini. The next card that we have is the Emperor. The Emperor is a card of long-term energy. Whatever this move is, whatever this revision is you made, it was the right thing to do long-term. The Emperor is like the card of the future. It's setting yourself up for future success. It's making sure you're making the right moves for the future. So in general, I really like this. There could have been like some sort of respect issue in here too. I know that's very vague, but take that if it resonates, Gemini, because the Emperor is a card of respect as well. Now let's take a look at our next column, which is just general, what's coming for November or the remainder of November. We have the card Stretch. Similar to Revision, this is one of the more literal cards in the deck. And it typically just means that things are a little bit harder to get done. You have to stretch a little bit further. You have to reach a little bit further. You have to push a little bit further, Gemini, to accomplish what you're hoping to accomplish. The nice thing is we only have like 2-ish weeks left of November. So it's not like you'll be stretching and reaching forever, but potentially a little bit more effort than normal going into these next few weeks. But let's see what we're working with here. What messages I can provide you. The first card we have is the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is a card of keeping and maintaining boundaries. This is also a card of being persistent. So again, that persistence is really going to tie into the stretch there. Again, there's something you're going to have to push a little bit harder for, work a little bit harder for than you would typically have to, Gemini. One thing with the Nine of Wands, again, going back to the boundaries piece of it too, now is a good time to set boundaries. If you're already at 110% workload capacity, don't agree to take on something else. If there is somebody that you are continuously having issues with your life, set boundaries and don't allow them to break boundaries. Maybe you let a friend borrow money all the time and they're not paying you back. Set the boundary. So again, in general, good time to set boundaries, but I think this is more so speaking to the persistence you'll need these next few weeks. The next card that we have is the Chariot. Somebody once described the Chariot to me as the vroom vroom card, and it means there's action, there's change, there's movement, which are all good things. We're on a journey. It's making progress on the journey. This can also be a new vehicle too. The Chariot is a new vehicle, so some of you could be getting a new vehicle this month. And at the bottom here, we have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is a card of needing to rest, retreat, renew, recover. Definitely make sure you're taking some downtime as you get ready to go into the new year, as you get ready to go into the holiday season. Capitalize on any days off you may have. I live in Colorado, for those of you that don't know, and it's cold here now. So I've been using it as an excuse a little bit to maybe not do some of my outside chores. But again, capitalize on those rest and recovery type scenarios where you can get a little bit of extra rest in. Okay, the first clarifier we have for this column is the Death card. So we have the Death card coming up again. Again, does not mean death still, but it is an indicator of going through a transformation, going through a change. The interesting thing with the Death card, it's like the grass is greener on the other side. And we were talking with the Nine of Wands that you'll be like, you need to push, you need to stay persistent. But again, the grass is greener on the other side. So you're going to be really glad that you stretched a little bit further, pushed a little bit farther, Gemini, to accomplish what you want. You can kind of see the sun starting to peek over the mountains there. Good indicator for you. In general speaking, you're definitely on kind of a transformation or in a period of change, though, between the Death card and the Chariot. The next card that we have is the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is a card of having to defend ourselves. And this is going back to that Nine of Wands. Like, if you have a friend that keeps borrowing money and doesn't pay you back, stop lending that person money. Or if you have a friend that says something mean to you, you stop talking, you start talking again, and they do it again, set a boundary there. Or if you're already working 50 hours a week and you only get paid to work 40 hours a week, set the boundary. So take the time to defend yourself as you're going through this journey, going through this change. That really could be the change in itself too, Gemini, is really setting better boundaries, protecting yourself a little bit more, and sometimes that means doing a little less for others or doing a little less in general. A little less for others and a little more for yourself. At the bottom here, we have the Three of Swords. Again, this is just really the need for downtime. The Three of Swords has a lot of meanings, but what this is coming through is like, you need time to heal, and I don't know that there's anything specifically that you're healing from. It's more so that you need time to rest, Gemini. So again, capitalize on those days going into the end of the year. Really get yourself ready for 2023. Now let's move on to our next column, which is anything related to money. I bought this new deck of cards and it has like money messages or advice or affirmations in it. So we're going to start with that. Your card says there's a difference between saving money and hoarding it. One increases the flow with the intention of using it for a specific purpose. The other suffocates and restricts the flow out of the fear of scarcity. It's a good message. Be smart with money, but don't be a money hoarder. So in this column, we're going to take a look at anything related to money, job, career, finances, businesses you run, investments you have, whatever you associate with money, Gemini. The first card we have is the Fool card. The Fool card is the first card in the Major Arcana. This is fresh hope, taking chances, going on a new path or adventure. I really feel like a lot of you are starting your own business here, Gemini, which is super neat to see. Maybe you're going to start a tarot reading YouTube channel like me. That's wonderful. I do feel like a lot of you are starting something new, and I don't want to call this side hustle because I think it's bigger than that, but it seems like out of the box. So really neat. For some of you, this could be switching jobs though. I feel like some of you are completing school and maybe this is prompting this new beginning as well, like getting your degree or being done with school. But all around new beginnings and money could potentially be a new investment as well. The next card that we have is the Queen of Swords. This is very self-sufficient. This is very honest. I like the self-sufficient card in the money column because it doesn't matter if you live with your parents, if you're happily married, if you're single. It's good to be financially self-sufficient, Gemini, regardless of your situation. It doesn't mean you have to be, but it's good that you can stand on your own. So this is just an indicator, I think, in general, of financial soundness for you, which I like to see. At the bottom, we have the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles indicates being busy. We've kind of already touched on that. And again, you need to make sure you're not overworking yourself, Gemini. But this can also be a decision and having to weigh options. I do think this decision is going to directly tie to the Fool there and having to weigh your options about that new beginning. Let's see what else we're working with here though. First card up is the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is a card with a lot of different meanings. The one that seems to be coming through the strongest is there's like a lack of apathy or a lack of fulfillment that comes with the Four of Cups. And I feel like for some of you, you're not happy in your current situation and that's what's driving you to this new beginning. And that sounds pretty obvious maybe for some of you, but it's like maybe you hate corporate and that's why you're starting your own YouTube channel. Maybe you are done with school and you're ready to actually now apply what you've been through. It's like you're not happy in your current situation and that's pushing you to this new beginning. The next card that we have is the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands, if you look, almost like looks like a finish line. And this is a card of completion. This is also a card of celebration. Definitely think the celebration is going to be tied to this new beginning, which I like to see. It just indicates success in this new opportunity for you. And at the bottom here, we have the Wheel of Fortune. For those of you who have watched my videos before, the Wheel of Fortune is my other favorite card in my deck. It's a turning point. It's good luck. It's good fortune. All of these things are wonderful in terms of money. But we're really at the turning point here where we're not going to be so busy, not so much multitasking here. But I think this is really, again, tying to that new beginning of being at that turning point to actually do something that fulfills and feels good for you, Gemini. Okay, let's move on to our money or love column next. So similar to the money deck, I did just get a new love deck. So let's see what your message says here. Criticizing one another will only lead to further unhappiness. Love and accept each other as you are, and your relationship will magically transform. Okay, in this column, we're going to talk about anything related to love, family, friends, relationship, marriage, children, whatever you associate with love, Gemini. The first card that we have is the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is so good to have anywhere because it quite literally means wishes coming true. You can have whatever you want. So in terms of love, if you're single and want to be in a relationship, think about that and that's what will happen. If you want to get engaged, you want to get married, you want to grow your family, whatever your wish is, it's going to be fulfilled for you with the Nine of Cups as it relates to love. This is also a card of good health, so if you or somebody in your family has been struggling with health, this is an indicator of a shift in health for you too. The next card that we have is the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is a desire for something. Again, going back, be thinking about whatever you want and the wishes are going to be coming true. So it's like, I see you hoping for this and then I see you receiving what you've been hoping for, Gemini. Really nice pairing of cards there. And at the bottom here, we have the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is a card, anytime we have an Ace card, it's a card of newness. Typically, the Ace of Pentacles is new job, raise, promotion, investment, income. When we see it in the love column like this, though, it's typically money surrounding you. So think like your parents getting a new job, or your husband getting a new job, or your wife getting a new job. Or potentially you're moving forward in a relationship and you're moving in together and it's one income becoming two income. So kind of money surrounding you in that case. The first clarifier we have for the love column is the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is a card of kind of low feelings, and I think some of you have lost hope in whatever this is you're wanting, which isn't going to be helpful, but like maybe you're single and you're just not finding somebody, or maybe you've been trying to have a baby for a while, or maybe you're tired of waiting to get engaged. Whatever it may be, this is kind of like your low feelings towards it. And it feels pretty directly tied to waiting. Like you're unhappy because you've had to wait so long for something. But do just make sure that you're staying really positive here. That's what this decision is going to be referring to too as well, Gemini. With the Two of Swords, this is a card of making a decision. It's like you really need to make the decision to change your mindset of how you're looking at this thing. Rather than being upset that it's taken so long, we need to be focusing that it's going to happen soon. This is also being clear on what you want. If you like keep changing your mind on what you want, it's hard to accomplish what you want. And don't get me wrong, it is absolutely okay to change your mind, Gemini. But in terms of attracting things to yourself, this is like saying be clear on what you want so you can receive what you want. At the bottom here, we have the Judgment card. The Judgment card is kind of like that final decision, that clarity. This is about getting clear on what you want so you can attract what you want to yourself, Gemini. The Judgment card is always one of those cards that's favorable to you too. So I like to see that tucked in the bottom there. Okay, now let's move on to our fifth and final column, which is a message from our future self or spirit guides. We have the card Brilliant. I love this. You are brilliant, Gemini. You're going to have a brilliant next few weeks. Remainder of the year to come. You've been doing so well. I always think this is such an uplifting card. The Brilliance card is such a good reminder of how wonderful you are. But let's see what messages we're working with here. The first card that we have is the Ace of Swords. Again, anytime we have an Ace card, it's a card of newness. With the case of the Ace of Swords, this is new mental clarity. You are finding something out, Gemini. This is some sort of missing piece of information that you needed. The next card that we have is the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is a very resourceful card. This is about being resourceful with your resources. I'm going to throw a couple things out here. I feel like this could be pertaining to a job, an investment, a relationship. It's like you found out the information that you needed on something related to one of your resources. Relationships do come up a lot. Fertility comes up a lot with the Queen of Pentacles. But it's like you now know where to apply your resources to accomplish what you want. At the bottom here, we have the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is a card of waiting, and we've been waiting for this clarity. It's like you didn't know what your next move was, and now you do know what your next move is. And this gives you an opportunity to now make the choice, make the plan. Again, you know what you need to do here now, Gemini. Let's clarify this column and see what other messages I can provide you. The first clarifier we have is the Star. What a good card here. This is a card of renewal, hope, and guess what? It's a card of clarity. So again, finding out the information you need. This is going to really raise your spirits, renew your energy, renew your hope. The next card we have is the Seven of Cups. Before we were kind of being non-committal because we didn't know where to apply resources, we didn't know where to focus. And again, Gemini, with this new clarity, you're going to know how to do that. But the Seven of Cups is kind of like, look at all these different things going on. There's so many options. I don't know how to commit. But with the clarity, you'll be able to commit. And at the bottom here, we have the repeat Ace of Swords. Again, Ace of Swords meaning that clarity. So you'll have the clarity you need to make the decision, to make the plan. So nice spread of cards here, Gemini. At this time, I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask 3 yes or no questions. We're going to use our Gypsy Witch fortune telling deck. If you don't have 3 questions in mind, you can pause the video and think of them really quick. Question number 1, though, is the 9 of Hearts. This is number 16 card. That's going to be a yes. Question number 2 is the 2 of Clubs. This is number 46 card. That's going to be a no. And question number 3 is the 10 of Spades. This is number 30 card. That's going to be a no. So yes, no, no for you, Gemini. If you watched your video earlier this month, we did pull a card from our Healing Stones deck, which is a crystal to keep with you through the month of November. Your crystal is Fire Opal, which is good for passion and being spontaneous. It's kind of like the firework crystal. It's very cheerful, very creative, and lots of passion. Last but not least, we're going to pull a card from our Healing Notes deck. Your Healing Note says, somehow in the midst of struggle, life finds its way to take care of you when you open yourself to receiving healing, and all will be well. Thank you so much, Gemini, for tuning in, watching, and listening. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this video resonates with you. When you subscribe, you'll be notified when I post new content, and of course it helps me grow my channel, so I'm very appreciative there. If you feel inclined, I did include my Venmo in the comments box if you'd like to make a donation. But thank you so much, Gemini, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your November.